Aloha kakayaka means good morning to you. Well, yesterday I was trying to get my blood work done because I'm going to do a full body checkup. I did it back in June, but it was a virtual checkup with my doctor out in LA at Cedars-Sinai. And, I kind of told her how I was feeling and get that done. But then in the last 3 months, it's just been a lot of challenges. No matter what, we thought we were at a good stage with this pandemic, and then all of a sudden there is a new virus that came out and a whole bunch of natural disasters and all kind of things that is happening. And from the very beginning, since January of 2020, I did a PA about wearing masks because just something in me thought something is going to happen, and I came down with a cold that time, and I wasn't feeling good. And as an etiquette, I wear a mask. I don't care what anybody think. And because that's how it is in Japan. And I lived in Japan, I worked in Japan, and so that's part of their etiquette, their culture. And so, it's kind of funny because when you look back, and it's on my Instagram, on that mention back in January 2020 about wearing masks. And, whether you got the shot or didn't get the shot, it's really your freedom of choice. But, when it comes down to having etiquette and being conscious and being mindful, I'm really for wearing the mask because it's just part. And there's a lot of things. It's funny because what I said on my maybe I'll post it on this, but what I said was exactly that the US and other countries, when it comes to masks, they don't like it. And maybe I'm used to it of believing that it's just part of having a mindfulness, whether if you have a cold, people still wear it in Japan, or don't have ready to have a cold, they wear it. And so it's just really, really preventative care. And that's the subject I really want to talk about, is about preventative care. And that's how we're going to be staying healthy, because that's our biggest challenge, is keeping our number one commodity is our health. Health is priceless. And it really comes down to our lifestyle, because people assume they got a shot, that they're okay. People assume I'm wearing a Chanel, but guess what? It's actually 2 bananas. I got this cute shirt from my friend in Japan. It's 2 bananas, and it's not Chanel. And so a lot of times we have this assumption that we're all good and that we're all fine. And this doesn't only pertain to people who took a shot. This also pertains to people who didn't take a shot. And so just be mindful. And when you are out in public, really be conscious of what your action is all about, because from that, I never seen humanity hate people so much, and it's kind of sad because we all live among each other. And if we don't get to a point where we respect each other's space and boundaries and how we feel, and be respectful, and that's where it's going straightly out the door, and for me, I'm doing preventative care. I went to go get some blood drawn. The last time I went, I never know I had to fast for 12 hours. And, I know I have to fast, but I didn't know at 3 o'clock in the morning I was thirsty, so I drank the fresh watermelon juice. And, I was shy of that 12 hours. I was 7 hours. So they told me to come back again, and I did. And, for me It's always about being proactive when it comes to your health, you know? And like for me, I came back home. The lifestyle from LA to Hawaii is huge change, especially our food, because here in Hawaii, we love our rice, and that is filled with sugar. You know, sometimes when you're like, oh my God, I haven't had that spam musubi, you know, and so I've been pigging out with a lot of local foods, you know, because I crave for it. I haven't eaten them for a very long time. I mean, that syrup on that shaved ice or that Hawaiian plate, oh, you know, and that all that onolicious Hawaiian food. But I got a little bit too excited and I ate a lot of it in the last 1 year, you know, and since I came back. But you know, I'm in between. I eat it when I want to, but maybe I overdid it. I don't know. And so that's why I'm testing myself for diabetes, and as well as doing a full body checkup, because learn what the underlying problem you might have that could weaken your immune system. And from there, you can do preventative care. And so, you know, for me, I do work a lot around the house. My mom is like, no ways you have diabetes. The way you walk around, the way you do yoga, the way you do this, and the way you eat is healthy. And I said, yes, Mom, but sometimes people don't know when you see that Matasada truck and you're like, ooh, I never had that for a long time, Leonard's Matasada. And so, you know, we do that. Hey, because it's okay, and just do it in moderation. And so, you know, all of those things, I think back and I'm like, I need to go like a real checkup, because you know, virtue nowadays is all about virtue and this and that. And so we assume a lot of things, just like this. We assume I may be wearing a Chanel when it's actually banana, you know? And so things like that, a lot of people assume that, hey, I'm having a great life, but I have a lot of stress. Believe me, like everybody else, have a lot of challenges, you know? You know, for example, like for my Cocojor spa products, I can't get it here because there is so many things that we have to go through to remake my products. And of course, I agree with that 100 billion% to make sure that our products that we're making for the dogs is tested 100%. So that takes time. And so, you know, people's like, I thought she was going to reopen her Cocojor things and this and that. Yes, I am. But you know what? There's a lot of things that goes behind the scene that we're not aware, because we just see the end products. And in order to make an end products, you have to put a lot of testing and making sure that it's, and for me, that's how I am. I want to make sure that what I represent for the last 20 years on my products and service is exactly what Cocojor is all about. And so, you know, basically what I'm trying to say is we need to stop assuming things on a multiple level and just give people the break during this crisis. You know, don't be yelling at somebody and throwing the phone at them or screaming and yelling, and you know, it's just to a point where it's sad. You know, I don't really want to go out anymore because, you know, it gets, not only because of the potential risk of, you know, what's happening out there, the corona and the Delta, and then probably the next one coming out pretty soon, I heard. And so, you know, we don't know, because when people get desperate and people have no outlet to just let it go, somehow it will surface somehow into our health, our wellness. Stress is really the #1 factor of causes. And I'm going through a lot of stress right now. You know, my God, things are so freaking expensive that you will not believe. And even getting through certain stuff, I mean, it's just one thing after another that we all go through, you and I. And so be kind. Instead of writing F you this and shit this and, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, step back. Stay neutral for once. Meditate, concentrate, and really feel yourself, because if you don't, your body will start feeling not good. And that's how I'm feeling right now. So that's why I'm number 2 is taking preventative care, because I see my situation, I'm aware of my situation, and it's not being, you know, and sometimes we bypass it, we just don't let it go. You know, we just keep on pushing ourselves to a level that we're so exhausted, you know, mentally, physically, spiritually. And so really, we're all going through this. So kind of really take this time, because just like, you know, 8 August is the yin and the yang energy that's coming together. And the full moon is coming up where, you know, it's a time to let go and time to bring in the new intention, because in September, it's what the future is going to start to look like. You know, I called my clients and letting them know what's happening. And so, you know, a lot of them is calling me back, and it makes me feel good. Those are like my vitamins. Is feeling good energy. Good energy. And it's like, you know, the last months has been so hectic that, you know, those kind of energy that really fills my heart, my soul, because why? I know I can use my purpose, my energy to help serve, you know, with my courses, with my seminars, with my yogatation class. And guess what? My yoga class is going to be opening soon. So, you know, I have a lot in store. My wonderful webmaster is creating, you know, my website that, you know, maybe it was all meant to be. You know, technology and things happen for a reason. This change of things, and, you know, my server that I was using, you know, there's all things that comes in, and which is good, because sometimes you think in life that, you know, why is this happening to me? Oh my God. And that's when you start to stress out, and you just get so mad and angry at people. And that's the number 3 thing, is that we need to really study ourselves. And that's what's called self-awareness, because sometimes we don't even look at ourselves. We don't look at ourselves from the inside out. You know, because once you look in and seek within, there's so much happiness that you can make that change to. And we always say, okay, because we're such an instant gratification from Twitter to Facebook, you know, this and that, that we spell wrong sometimes. Sometimes we don't, because we're sitting in a rush, just want to just hurry up and post things, you know. And, you know, sometimes I look at it and people will criticize, and I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I got my point across. So when it was at that moment, because I live for that moment, that feeling, and how I'm feeling when I'm looking at something, how beautiful it is to enjoy and take a breath of life. And so really, really, really just stay focused, stay healthy, you know, and being conscious and be mindful on what's going around in our surroundings, so we can have an enjoyable life. Because for the next 3, like literally for the next to the end of the year, we're gonna go through a lot of shakes, like earth-shaking events, whether it's Mother Nature, whether it's the people, whether it's the system. All these things will be affected. And so that's why preventative care is so, so important. So let's talk more about it. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I'll be talking a lot more about preventative care and how we can all come together in this collective, great new energy that we have. Because we're all recreating ourselves. We're all rebirthing to the new now. So have a great August. Today's August 15th. We're at the halfway mark, people. So don't forget to stay conscious of what we want in our life. And don't forget, be kind, because it doesn't take much money to do that. Just really, it's just really from the heart. Aloha.